here on New Scene 48 on WKBS Channel 48, Burlington, Philadelphia.
These are some notes I jotted down while I was talking to Draper. It seems they also found one of your father's record books, which showed various sums collected from the patients for surgical fees.
It's not patients' names, but identifying numbers.
And this was one of the numbers.
Hey, look at this, Val. 122879.
Well, there it is, the number from the letter.
It looks like your father was including a patient's number as well, but why? Why would he want to do that?
I have no idea, Kelly.
Was there a date of payment, Mike?
Yes, it's right here.
September 19th, 1978. Now, does that mean anything to you? Yes. That was the day that Jim Diedrichson would have been discharged. So it's his payment and his number. Who's Jim Diedrichson?
And why would your father put that number into the letter? What was he trying to tell you, Valerie?
I don't know, Mike. Jim Diedrichson was someone I knew from my father's clinic in Lucerne. An ex-Army officer who was having facial surgery done.
Val knew him well.
Actually, I knew him very well at the time. But, I never saw what he looked like because he was always in bandages. But your father knew that the two of you had been friends, so that might Valerie, do you think that your father was trying to tell you that this, Jim Diedrichson is here in Monticello?
I sure admire this watch. It has my initials, you know. GSW. They're not in the right order, but that doesn't matter. You know, I would be eternally grateful if someone would give me this watch. How about it?
You're mad. Give me that watch.
Nah, I think you should give it to me as a token of your esteem for my loyalty. Okay? And this is just the beginning. And I sure hope you understand that. Mr. Whitney?
Yes, Gunther.
I bet I can tell you what you were thinking about.
Can you?
Sure. You were wondering what to do about that little punk Gavin Wiley. Am I right?
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Bold 3, detergent plus full-strength fabric softener, and by Comet, the cleanser that disinfects as it cleans.
Boy, the garbage that gets dumped in my sink and those food stains, they're tough to clean. But you know what else is in there? Germs. So I don't just clean with any cleanser. I Cometize. That's the best kind of clean a sink can get, because Comet gets out tough, greasy food stains better than any leading cleanser. And look, it disinfects, too. If a cleanser doesn't do all that, it doesn't get a sink clean enough for me.
Comet with Chloranol cleans rings around other cleansers. It even gets out tough, greasy food stains they leave behind. And it kills most household germs. That's Cometized.
Comet cleans better and it disinfects, too. So why just clean your sink? Go all the way to Cometized.
You did it! Just takes know-how, Mom. Well, I hope you know how to get a good old-fashioned clean. That velour top is dirty.
No problem.
You can get that clean?
Old-fashioned clean with Bold 3 detergent plus fabric softener.
Come on. An old-fashioned clean from a detergent with a newfangled fabric softener?
Absolutely. Plus, you'll love the softness from Bold 3's newfangled fabric softener.
I'll have to see it and feel it.
You will.
No more tire treads. That's an old-fashioned clean.
And?
Feels downright snugly.
Mm-hmm. And no static cling here.
I see it and I feel it. That's
know-how, Mom.
Bold 3 for an old-fashioned clean plus a newfangled fabric softener.
Did you really mean what you said about taking Gavin Wiley out of the picture permanently? Because if you did, I think I can help you out there.
And with some pleasure, I suppose. Gavin is not one of your favorites either, is he, Gunther?
No, sir. Now, me, I'm an easygoing type of guy. I think you know that.
Oh, yes. Who knows that better than I?
Yeah, but that kid Wiley has always rubbed me wrong ever since we first met.
Need I remind you, Gunther, where you met first was in the alley behind the nightclub where he was working?
Oh, no, sir, Mr. Whitney. No, I met him when you first pointed him out to me. And you said then that he was causing you all kinds of trouble keeping Miss Martine from running off with you.
Yes, I also remember that I never told you to break his leg.
Well, it seems to me that this is the same type of situation. Only this time he's trying to keep little Jody Travis from starring in your dance company.
I know what the situation is, Gunther. I'm just not sure of the solution yet, that's all.
No, you know what the solution is, Mr. Whitney. You just don't want to say the words. I mean, you knew what the solution was when you tried to get rid of what's-her-name.
Shut up, damn you.
No, you did the wrong thing. You hired the wrong man, that Romeo Slade. He was a loser. He couldn't do anything right.
I won't hear another word on this subject. You understand that?
Yes, sir, Mr. Whitney. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to bring up that old stuff. My humblest apologies, sir.
Excuse me, I've got things to do.
Yeah, like what?
Like none of your business.
Mr. Whitney, I don't think you should talk to me like that anymore. Saying things like none of your business, because everything you do is my business, you know. I mean, here I am trying to help you out. I have to know everything about you, Mr. Whitney. You know that. You understand.
I'm going upstairs to look in on my aunt, Gunther, if that is all right with you.
Yes, sir. I think that's very nice.
And then I'm going to stop in on Jody Travis to see whether Gavin is actually speaking for her, if that program meets with your approval, Gunther.
Yes, sir. What time would you like to leave? I'll have the car around.
10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Now, Chrissy, I do wish you would stop poking and fluffing these pillows. I'm sure you'll have a great many other things to do in this house.
Well, I've only worked here a couple of weeks. I'm still learning the ropes.
My dear, you certainly did have an exciting introduction to this job, didn't you?
Oh, I'm just glad I wasn't in the house when that horrible burglar broke into the place.
Well, I just wish I hadn't been here. Then I wouldn't have my pillows rearranged every 5 minutes.
It's force of habit. I used to work in the infirmary at the convent.
You mean you were a...
Oh, no, Mrs. Saxon. I just worked there. But working here is quite a switch. The people here are, well, they're different than...
Come in.
Now, if you need anything, just let me know. Oh, excuse me.
Well, you're looking fine, Geraldine. Are these pillows all right here?
Yes, they're just fine, Scott. Now, just leave them as they are, thank you.
Well, I want you to be happy, Geraldine. I can't tell you how much it means to both Raven and me that you're here with us.
Oh, nonsense. You certainly don't want me cluttering up your house.
No, you're wrong. Having you here with us now is, well, it's a blessing.
In what way?
Well, I'm sure you can imagine how busy I am right around now, and poor Raven ends up spending many, many days here all by herself.
I see.
And it makes me feel very good to know that someone is here that she can talk to and ask for advice and counsel. And I can't think of anyone better equipped to help her keep her feet on the ground.
My dear boy, Raven never has her feet on the ground.
Oh, Geraldine, having you here is the best thing that's happened to us.
Yeah. I know how busy you are. Getting ready for the opening of the dance company. You are opening next week, aren't you?
Oh, yes. My dance company is definitely going to open.
Isn't she wonderful? You know, sometimes I had the impression she was actually floating.
Yeah, she's good, all right.
Oh, there are so many good dancers in this world. Why did Sky Whitney have to pick me to be his star?
You know the answer, Jody. Because he would have been special. A complete unknown, barely 18, rising to the top after your first appearance on stage. And you know who would have taken credit for it? The great impresario, Skylar Whitney. That's why he did it.
Oh, I wonder if I'll ever be as good as she is.
You'll be better. You sure there are no regrets about the Whitney Dance Company?
No. My only regret is about you. if you suffered because of my quitting.
Jody, I'm not with the company anymore either. Sky fired me.
What? That isn't fair.
No, don't get upset about it. It's all right. Really, it's all right.
No, it isn't all right.
No,
It's
forget
my
about
fault
it, please. Look. Remember at dinner we talked about always working together? That's what we're going to try to do. Always. Together.
Okay.
While you may know how well Saran Wrap works in the freezer, you may not know how well it works in the microwave oven. With a piece of ice, we're about to demonstrate how rugged Saran Wrap is. You see, the unique molecular structure of Saran Wrap makes it the perfect wrap for the freezer and the microwave. In fact, Saran Wrap can take the torture of going from freezer to microwave without melting or rupturing like other wraps do. Saran Wrap, the wrap that's tough enough to go from one extreme to the other. Saran Wrap from Dow.
9 Lives Dry Cat Food presents Sylvester.
I wouldn't do this for any ordinary dry cat food, but for that famous 9 Lives taste, yes, sir. Ah, clam up. It's that famous 9 Lives taste. It tantalizes my taste buds.
9 Lives Dry, the dry cat food with that famous 9 Lives taste.
Whoa! Oh, guess it wants me to take a plunge.
Thank you, Mike. Well, that's really something, Val. You know, it must have been like dating the Invisible Man.
But Lieutenant Dietrichson may be very visible right now, perhaps not too far from this room.
I think it's sort of exciting, don't you? I don't know, Nancy. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm curious, of course. I guess I'd like to see what he looks like, how the operation turned out.
Who knows? He may have turned out very handsome.
I doubt it, Kelly. Reconstructive surgery usually doesn't produce handsome faces. It depends on the bone structure and so forth.
But you never know.
Take my advice, Kelly. Never be jealous of an old boyfriend.
Oh, I wouldn't say I'm being jealous. Curious, maybe.
Still, we're not really sure that your father was indicating that Dietrichson is here.
What I can't figure out is, why didn't he just say it in so many words? Why did your father go to the trouble to conceal it?
Maybe Dietrichson wasn't so legitimate after all.
Kelly, he was a war hero. He'd been wounded in the Vietnam War, and he had medals for gallantry.
Yeah, admittedly, he sounds like quite a guy. I mean, he's a war hero, all bandaged up, recited Keats. You did tell me that he recited poetry to you.
Yes, he did. He knew quite a lot of poetry, and he was very well read. He had plenty of time to read.
When he wasn't busy telling you how brave he was.
Well, I think we have to remember that this happened a long time ago.
Well, 3 years isn't that long ago.
Seems like ages to me. I guess everything seems more romantic at age 18 than it does at 21.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think there are any age limits for romance.
Well, this fellow had at least one thing going for him. Mystery.
Yes, mystery. I think the fact that I didn't ever see his face made him that much more interesting.
And there's still a mystery about it. If that number in your father's book means that he's alive, why hasn't he been in touch with you?
Yeah, Val, darling, this is Jim, the poet. Roses are red, violets are blue. You don't know me, but I know you.
Kelly, please.
No, seriously, Mike is right. Why hasn't he been in touch with you?
Well, honey, as you said, if he is here, maybe he doesn't know that you're here.
Well, of course he would, especially after all the publicity Val's father got.
Well, that's just the point, though. All those stories were about Dr. Bryson, not his daughter. I mean, he might not even know that you're back from Europe.
I think you're right, Nancy. Some of those articles did mention Valerie, but that doesn't mean that he saw them.
Well, there's not much we can do about that.
Well, sure there is. Let me check the listings in the phone book.
And, you know, there may be something that I can do.
Like what?
We'll do a feature story on you, if it's all right, you and Mr. Dietrichson.
Are you serious?
Well, it does have human interest, and I'm sure there'd be a lot of people who would enjoy reading it.
And it might prompt the lieutenant to come forward.
No James Dietrichson listed.
Well, okay, if he is anywhere in this area, I think the best way to find out is to go public.
Got a minute? Duncan Hines got a new idea. Delicious desserts with American dash. With just one pan, one Duncan Hines mix, no more than 3 ingredients, no more than 35 minutes of your time, you can make this lemon and luscious dessert easily. Start with Deluxe 2 Lemon Supreme Cake Mix. Bake in a tube pan, cool. Split the cake in 3 layers. Spread prepared lemon pudding between layers. Frost with whipped topping plus remaining lemon pudding and serve. Wasn't that easy?
This is delicious. You're wonderful.
Duncan Hines Desserts with American Dash. In magazines now. Watch them dash through it.
On your mark. Get set.
I've got the fever for the flavor of new Pringles.
New Pringles? What's new about Pringles?
It's the deep fried taste. It's a crispy crunch. Pass the Pringles, please. I need a bunch. We've got the fever for the flavor of your Pringles. The fever for the flavor of your Pringles.
Now Pringles are made different with a brand new deliciously deep-fried flavor that makes them taste even better. And there's no preservatives, nothing artificial.
I've got the fever for the flavor of new Pringles.
It's the deep fried taste. It's the crispy crunch.
Pass the Pringles, please. I need a bunch.
We've got the fever for the flavor of your Pringles.
New Pringles, one bite.
You'll catch the fever for the flavor of your Pringles.
I can't believe this is actually happening. I mean, ever since we first started talking about finding a new house, I've been imagining what it would be like to start packing.
Yeah, well, it's always worse than you think it's going to be.
Oh, and I never thought it would be so soon and that we'd be moving into a penthouse apartment instead of a real house.
It's starting soon enough, believe me. April's leaving for Europe in the morning. She doesn't want that apartment to be empty too long. It's going to take us quite a while to get all packed and ready.
Considering all the progress we're making, let's talk about a month.
Slow and steady wins the race.
God, I wish I just had a magic wand to make everything jump into these cartons. Oh, Miles, I can't wait to move in there.
You really like this move, don't you?
Oh, well, I've always loved this house. You know that, but I can't help being excited about moving back into the heart of the city, at least.
Moving back into the heart. We're moving into the clouds. I don't know what my patients are going to think about their penthouse GP.
Tell them the high altitude's good for your health.
Oh, all right, I'll try that. Certainly is already good for yours. I can see that. I haven't seen you glowing like this in a long time.
Oh, it's not just the penthouse apartment. It's living there with you. We are going to be high all the time. What's that?
It's my turn. Well. Hello, Mr. Whitney.
Doctor, I was wondering if I might come in for a couple minutes.
If you're looking for Jody, she's not here.
Oh, well, do you know when she'll be back?
Fairly soon, I think, but I really can't be sure.
Well, perhaps I can come in and have a word with you and her sister. Since you two are the closest thing she's got to parents, I was hoping I might get a sympathetic hearing.
If this has anything to do with Jody's decision about the dance company, I really don't think that we can help you, Mr.
Jody
Whitney.
makes her own decisions, Mr. Whitney. Just as you do, apparently, like your decision to lie about what Gunther did to her.
I'm sorry if you think I lied, Doctor. I merely reported the incident as I saw it. Mrs. Kavanaugh, you are Jody's sister, and I know that you think the world of her. Do you think it's right that this dance teacher can tell her what she can and cannot do with her life? Do you think it's fair that he should ruin the opportunity that I'm offering her?
I really can't answer that, Mr. Whitney.
Surely you must know that Wiley has got no talent compared to Jody, and that he has no right to ruin her career for jealousy or any other.
Mr. Whitney, Jody's decision is strictly her own. And from what I have heard about the situation, I think she's made the right one.
And I am convinced that if she was here right now, she would admit that she's being intimidated by her boyfriend.
Well, she is here right now. Why don't you ask her?
What's going on here? Jody, Mr. Whitney wants the absolute and final word from you about the dance company.
She's already
Not
said...
from you, Gavin. From Jody herself.
Yes, Mr. Whitney. I do want to leave. I can't do anything else.
You know something, Jody? You're an ungrateful little fool.
Gavin, come on, come on. Not here. Why don't we just allow Mr. Whitney to leave?
You know something, Gavin? I'm not a very vengeful man, but Gunther, oh, he is something else again. That drink that you threw in his face, well, you could not have insulted him more.
What?
Gunther is a dangerous man, Gavin. But I would have thought that you knew that already.
And don't worry, you can check every word before it goes into print.
I think it might be wise to include a picture of Valerie, too, don't you?
No problem there. I'm a photographer, remember? And I work for a photographer.
It's too bad you don't have any old pictures of him.
I do, though.
You do?
Yes, I took a photograph of him one day when he wasn't looking because I knew he wouldn't want to have a picture of himself with all the bandages on.
Where is it?
I have it among my souvenirs.
No, it's funny how old pictures like that can bring back very, very warm thoughts.
Yes, they can. Darling, would you please help me in the kitchen? I think dinner's just about ready. Excuse us.
Be glad to.
Kelly, are you upset? Are you upset?
No, no. No, of course not, but there is one question I'd like to ask you about Jim.
Ask?
Were you in love with him?
Yes, I was.
See, that proves it.
Proves what?
That you're the most honest lady I've ever met.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way. But Kelly, don't misunderstand. It was a long time ago, and I haven't exactly been holding a torch for him ever since.
It's really nice to hear.
Well, I didn't think it was going to do you any good, Mr. Whitney. You know, if you ask me, the only thing that's going to do you any good is a permanent arrangement for Mr. Wiley. Well, what do you say? Shall we talk it over?
Grown-up fun is fine most nights, but there are other sheer delights. Gentlemen prefer Hanes, 'cause when you're feeling free and wise, you'll find fun under starry skies. Gentlemen prefer Hanes. Hanes will make you smooth and silky, shapely, sexy. Yes, after all is said and done, there is an art to having fun. Gentlemen prefer Hanes.
We'll have to tell Susan and Linda
To
and
think
Harold.
all these years we told everyone to use this mayonnaise.
Nobody's perfect, Harriet.
Without even considering Kraft real mayonnaise.
There, dear.
After all, Kraft is rich with eggs and specially blended over 3,000 times for creamy smoothness.
Looks creamier than ours.
Well, Martha, now we know better.
And Cousin May in Topeka.
Oh, don't tell her.
I must admit I was a bit concerned, since the invitation did come from you alone.
Well, it was his idea, too. Look, you just have to forget about that little brat you used to know, the old Sky Whitney. This is a brand new version.
Still, I felt a little guilty about intruding on you two newlyweds.
But you're helping our marriage. That man of mine leaves here at the crack of dawn. He doesn't come home till 8 or 9 o'clock. Believe me, I'm glad you're here.
Yes, he did say he was appreciative to have me around to keep you company.
Best news in town, it's Saturday night, every Monday through Friday nights at 11, beginning next Monday.
Good morning. Sleep well last night, Mr. Whitney? I hope so.
Just fine, Gunther. And yourself?
Not bad, not bad. But I was just wondering if it wasn't all a dream. Did you really mean what you said?
Oh, yes, I meant what I said, Gunther.
I'm glad to hear that.
You help me take out Gavin Wiley, and you'll be richer to the tune of $500,000.
In cash?
In cash, in whatever denominations you'd like, Gunther. That should keep you in rum punches on some tropical island for quite some time to come.
No, actually, I've been thinking. I just might take all that bread and buy me a tropical island. Gunther Island. How does that sound?
It sounds as if you've decided to cooperate.
I'm willing to cooperate. The question is, will Gavin Wiley?
Oh, yes, Gunther, that's our responsibility to be convincing. Especially you. You have got to be convincing.
Yeah, but to actually make the guy believe that he killed me with his own gun, that's not going to be so easy.
That's right. That's why we can't take any chances. That's why our first stop today is going to be the Wiley Dance Studio.
Huh?
We're going to take a look at that gun.
Edge of Night is brought to you by new Pringles with a delicious deep-fried flavor, and by mountain-grown Folgers, mountain-grown coffee, the richest kind.
Hey, Ed, what'd you use an automatic coffee maker? Folgers flaked coffee. Great.
What do you use in the automatic coffee maker?
Folgers flaked coffee.
Delicious.
Mrs. Olson, what did you use? Oh, Folgers flaked coffee.
Nothing's better in these coffee makers.
Where's that?
Folgers is mountain grown, the richest kind of coffee. It's a coffee recommended by Mr. Coffee, the best-selling coffee maker.
And it's flaked?
Flaked to release more rich flavor, so you use less. If you normally use 5 measures, you only need 4 of Folgers flaked coffee.
Delicious.
Mountain-grown Folgers. That's how good coffee makers make great coffee.
When we set out to improve a great laundry detergent, we wanted to keep the powerful cleaners that work on ordinary dirts, that cut through food stains, that get out grease and oil, and add powerful cleaners that clean collar soil even better than before. So that's what we did, all in the concentrated quarter cup called New Formula Era. So effective, it cleans clean through. Watch Era clean through collar soil, taco grease, and motor oil. We treat only the top with a teaspoon of Era, rub, run under warm water, and look. New Era cleans clean through. That's the kind of power you get in Era's little quarter cup. New Era, power that cleans clean through.
I hope you don't mind the tape recorder, Valerie, but this way it makes it easier for us to chat. And I won't forget any important quotes.
Well, I don't know how many of those you're going to be getting.
Oh, now just try and relax.
Okay. It's just hard to talk about myself.
Well, even without your connection to your father's clinic in Lucerne, you still have a very touching human interest story to tell. So would you like to begin?
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
It was the summer of 1978. Several summers prior to that time, I had spent either traveling or with friends. But that July and August were set aside for me to be in Lucerne. There weren't very many patients at my father's clinic that summer, but Daddy did introduce me to Jim.
Mm-hmm. And how did you react to him when you first met him?
Well, it wasn't exactly love at first sight. He had bandages all over his face. And he was very withdrawn at first. Actually, the first couple of days, I could hardly get him to say much at all. And then, little by little, he came out of his shell. And we'd talk about things that we liked and didn't like. And we found we had a lot in common. We liked the same books and same authors. Oh, he would quote from Browning and Keats and Shelley. I had never really liked poetry in school, but he made me love it. And anyway, in a couple of weeks, I guess he just felt close enough to me to tell me what happened to him in Vietnam during the war.
These memories are very painful for me, Val.
Well, you don't have to do this now if you don't want to.
No. I want you to know how it happened. By the time I got to know him, the fighting was pretty well winding down. But there were still small pockets of resistance, and my company, Charlie Company, we were assigned to a mop-up operation. Actually, it was more like search and destroy. And we were in the Mekong Delta in a rice paddy one day on patrol. And all of a sudden, there were these popping sounds all around us. And guys started dropping all around me. And the thing was, we were in the open. There was very, very little cover. And we returned fire as best we could. And we finally managed to find an old abandoned hut. And we retreated to it. And by that time, though, most of the guys were pretty badly shot up. The radio was gone. So we couldn't call for medical assistance or anything. So my company commander, Pete Harmon, and I, we were assigned to go out and find some help.
But you were still in enemy territory?
And we got about, must have been 2 miles or so, and we ran into some sniper fire. And we returned it as best we could. But Pete caught a shell in the leg and dragged him over to one side and returned fire for a while. And then when things quieted down, I kind of half dragged, half carried him for as long as I could, and then I couldn't do it anymore, and he was losing blood. So I found a tree, and we tried to camouflage ourselves as best we could to wait for nightfall. I thought it would be safest then. But I was wrong. See, the VC are very, very proficient night fighters. And apparently they had been tracking us all along, waiting for us to show ourselves. And they opened fire, and it was pretty tough for a while, but I guess we were fairly lucky. We managed to hold them off. And then I saw an APC, armored personnel carrier, coming towards us. And a grenade was thrown. It landed pretty near Pete, and by that time his reflexes were all shot to hell, so I didn't think about it. I just pounced on it and threw it as far as I could. And you talk about luck. It was a direct hit on an armored personnel carrier and put it out of action. But the shrapnel started flying in all directions, and I caught more than my share of it, it seems. I laid there for a few hours, I guess, and heard the sound of choppers, and it was medical help, so they picked us up and brought us to hospitals. Pete went to one, I went to another, and then I was finally sent back here to the States, and I went from one VA hospital to another, trying to patch my face up. Until finally it was decided that my condition required special attention, and I ended up here.
Jim, that was wonderful what you did. Saving your friend's life. Really, I've never met a live hero before.
I'm not a hero. They can keep all their damn medals. All I want is a face.
Well, you're going to have one soon.
Yeah, but I don't have one now. And that's very unfair to you. A woman can't love a man like this.
A face isn't the only reason one falls in love, Jim.
When I saw your face, I fell in love with you.
That must have been quite a moment for both of you.
I still don't know if he meant what he said or whether it was just the moment.
Well, how did you feel?
Well, at the time, My head was spinning and I was walking 10 feet off the ground. I had never felt like that about anybody before.
First loves are usually very special.
You're not kidding. Face or no face, I was in love with Jim Dietrichson.
Okay, America, show us your underalls.
Underalls, pantyhose and panties all in one are only visible at department and other fine stores.
Tisk, tisk,
The original crazies are back.
It's Saturday night!
Still the cleverest species of them all.
Saturday Night, the innovative show that broke all the rules and even changed the way we talk.
Cheeseburger, 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 cheeseburger!
Never mind.
Premiering Monday, September 21st, Saturday night, Monday to Friday evenings at 11, right here on Channel 48.